Hello guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, want to jump right into this. I was supposed to do the story last night, but I couldn't get around to it. I had some things to do, so I do apologize. But there's some new details about the little boy that was found, the 10-year-old boy found wandering in the street starving that weighed 36 pounds in I think it's Griffin, Georgia. Now, I did a couple of stories about it, and I'll leave the last one I did in the description box at the end in the pop-up so you guys can go catch up on it. But some surprising details have come out, and they are quite disturbing. And also, a third person has been arrested, the stepson of the family of Tyler and Krista Schindler. These are the mother and father that were in the house, or the parents present when this was happening to the boy. All three of these people are locked up. Now I'll play this video clip, let you see the details of what this little boy went through. And it answers a couple questions that everybody left in the comment section. And I had myself. Guys, check this out.
Now, a young man is incarcerated in jail along with his mother and stepfather, charged in connection to a horrific case of child abuse out of Metro Atlanta. Ethan Washburn is accused of beating his brother, his little brother, over the span of 3 years. The same 10-year-old who Griffin police say was being starved to death by his own parents, Krista and Tyler Schindler. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn is outside the detention center, where the mother, the father, and the son are being held without bond. Cody, this case started unfolding 1 month ago today, right?
Jeff, that's right. May 12th is when that 10-year-old was able to escape out of his home. And that's when a neighbor just happened to look outside, saw this little guy, scooped him up, only weighing about 36 pounds, and likely saved his life. Years of abuse alleged behind the walls of this home in a quiet neighborhood on the outskirts of Griffin. Inside, police say a 10-year-old was locked in his room for days at a time with no food, water, lights, access to a toilet, or any interaction with his parents and 4 other siblings.
The child was being starved to death is what we will argue.
Spalding County District Attorney Marie Broder, a mother herself, detailed the abuse in a news conference back in May, where she described the child as being on the brink of death.
This case is disturbing. It's heartbreaking.
The child was rescued after escaping the home here on Westminster Circle. Hours after a neighbor found the child walking barefoot, his parents, Krista and Tyler Schindler, were arrested. The question everyone was asking, how did no one notice? And why was it only him?
We will have a full forensic interview with him, and we'll be able to know more about those details.
The night of his parents' arrest, 11 Alive watched Krista Schindler's 20-year-old son, Ethan Washburn, remove several items from his parents' home. He refused to answer any questions, the DA probing if he was involved.
We are still looking into the family history.
A warrant accuses Washburn of punching his 10-year-old stepbrother in the head, body, and face, leaving him, quote, seriously injured after the attacks the warrant alleges happened often. And it gets worse. In this warrant, it also accuses Washburn of strangling his stepbrother, who we've since learned is autistic, by wrapping his hands around his neck. Now, tonight we did try to get an update on that child's condition, but they have not yet told us how he's doing.
All right, guys, that was the sad details of what has happened to this 10-year-old that was left starving and trying to wander for help, which it should have never happened anyway. You got 1, 2, 3 responsible adults in the house. 3 people that should be responsible for loving and caring and nurturing the children that they bore out of their loins and womb together. Not everybody sees it that way, and it's disturbing all the same. Now, I want to say something. We're going to go over what they said in this video clip that's very upsetting me. Number one is they isolated him from everybody else. No water, no lights, no toilet access for days at a time. You know, none of them went and cleaned that room up. This went on for a 3-year period, guys. 3. From what we know, that's been recorded. Now, I'm going to tell you something. All these details and stuff like that, you know where they coming from. They coming from the child himself. Luckily, he got out and he told his story. These people are devils. Nothing more, nothing less. And they all deserve the death penalty, especially this Ethan Washburn. Bro, and Tyler Schindler need to get it too. And the reason why I'm putting on both the men, they're supposed to be leaders. They're supposed to be setting examples. First of all, we'll go with Tyler. Bro, you the father of this child. You allowed a stepson to viciously torture your child. Just viciously torture. Now, I'm going to tell you something, guys. The question I was wondering for the longest time was, why would it just be him? Right? Why him? Come to find out, he was autistic. Now, I don't know what level of autism he had. But obviously, because he was different than them, they treated him differently than them. And that's messed up. He's still your blood, still your child. You know, everything is not going to be perfect when we have children. When the baby's in the womb, from the human eye, we can't tell how that baby's going to come out, how it's going to look, how it's going to act, and what illness may afflict it. But that's just one of the things and the roll of the dice when you choose to bring life into this world. You think everybody that has a child with a disability wish it wasn't them? No. Things are what they are, and you take life as it is given to you. These people right here, getting back to Tyler and Ethan, they need nothing short of the death penalty because they robbed this child of his humanity and his human rights. And that should never be accepted. A lot of people get upset when people get mad at somebody over their race and say, hey, that shouldn't be tolerated, or their religion or their way of life. And it shouldn't be tolerated. Either you deal with it or you don't. Same with the situation of this child. Though he's your child, he still is privileged to his life, pursuit of being happy, and he has the right to be around people that would care for him and love him, even though y'all fucking didn't. They didn't. Now let's go to this woman, Krista, the wife. You bore this child. You should be the voice of reason. The feminine aspect of this trio of morons. You knew this boy was not getting adequate care, starving. You allowed that. All 3 of them in the same boat. Monsters, all of them. Excuse me, I'm having technical difficulties. All of them monsters. And they should get no sympathy from the public, from family members, or the law, period. There's nothing you can do that'll turn this around and make somebody say, you know what? I understand why you did it now. Unacceptable. You allowed somebody to torture your child. That's a nice house. And inside the house, it was a bunch of hell going on. Think about that. A lot of us would love to have that house. A lot of us in our lifetime won't even own a home. Think about it. A lot of people in their lifetime won't even own a home. They have a lot of luxuries that a lot of people would love to have, especially the autistic child, because some people are barren. And that's what's messed up about it. There are people out there that can't have a child and would die for the opportunity to care and love for someone, or I don't want to say something as a human being, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Here she is, fertile, can have children, and squanders the opportunity that God grants her as a gift. All of them. But Ethan Washburn, the son, he really need his face tore off. He do. That ain't your child. Then you 20 years old, man, where's your sense of humanity? You ain't been exposed to nothing out there. It's just like this child was a nuisance. You were whipping his ass. They gave you the go ahead, so you went in hard. This is no different than the situation where the 6-year-old is fighting for his life in Georgia right now, being abused by his mother's idiot boyfriend, loser boyfriend. Same type of stuff. It's like when somebody's done with you, they don't see you as a human being. They just see you as a thing. You know, they say he punched this boy in his face, body, multiple times, leaving serious injury. That means he was punching him like a man. A 36-pound child cannot take the brunt of any type of body shot because his ribs and bones and extremities are already exposed. What the hell is wrong with you? Think about this. He was on the brink of death, guys. Death. Now, question that remains with me is this. If he had died because they treated him like a mongrel animal that should have been in isolation or they did not want. If he had died, what was their plan? Because I know he wasn't going to school. We already know. So with him being in a special school or something, he might have got lost in the system as far as like, him going to school. They probably wasn't checking up on him because he's not registered in a normal school. This is what I'm thinking. I don't know. And they just kept him at the house and treated him like trash because he wasn't like them. He had a disability with a lot of programs out here. And he's not the only one that has the same distinct disability. And I want you guys to understand it. He's not the same. There are other children out there like him. He could go to workshops. He can go, listen, in that neighborhood, you've seen that house. In that neighborhood, there's a lot of programs and stuff afforded to people that live in neighborhoods like this. And a lot of networking, if they, from successful people in that neighborhood, that they could have found something to help them with the problem of dealing with their child if he was out of control. How is starving a child going to fix his autism? Punching him in the face and body, leaving him in a room full of his own shit and piss. How is that going to help him? Like I said, it brought up the question. Because they treated him like trash, I wonder if they were just waiting for him to die to where they could throw him away and act like he never existed. And that's the part that hurts me the most. And that's the reason why I think they all need to be turned inside out. Who treats people like this, let alone children, and let alone family? It's messed up. I can't imagine myself being without water, lights, or toilet access or interaction. Isolated him from them because he was different, but he was still yours. So he was setting it up to where if something happened to them, the children don't interact with him, following the parents' lead, this boy would have been left to his own vices because they'd have been separated from him and the bond is not there no more. That's what's devilish about that to me. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. Man, I'm glad these people are going to get the full extent of the law. I'm glad they caught the boy. And these guys, whether you know it or not, a child crime, they're going to face hell in prison. They are, especially the two men. They're going to face a lot of hell. Their faces plastered all over the place. Inmates watch the news all the time. Now here comes the son. And man, so you wasn't related to the kid. You just like, oh, they give me the green light to bust his ass. I'm gonna really turn up on him. I don't want to say I wish I was locked up. But the way I am and the way I was in jail, he'd have caught a fist as soon as he came through that door in Gen Pop. I'd had me and a few other people. We'd already been on it because we all think alike. As soon as he settled in, we're going to knock his head off. You know what I'm saying? Make him shake the gate. But listen, I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I don't mean to sound violent or nothing like that, but enough is enough with the silliness. It is. This is becoming a more and more current thing of us having lack of compassion for each other, us basically eating our young, like like animals or something, and just the whole total lack of accountability and just responsibility that us as parents should have. Whatever you're going through in life, there's somebody out there going through something way more worse. And you need to look at life like that. The earth don't stop spinning because you got a headache and don't want kids playing in front of your house, or your son has autism, or anything. Man up and deal with it. We got the greatest minds on the planet as human beings, but we don't use it. Guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Pray for this young man.